Sleep,
We're talking about sleep today? Okay.
sleep,
Awesome.
sleep. Because you mentioned it when we got on the call at the beginning that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't sleep that, and you went to the gym at 5 o'clock
I did
in
not.
the
I did not
morning.
sleep good. I have no idea why, but I'll tell you, I know I'm going to bed early tonight. Because seriously, if you really think about it, how important is sleep? It really is. It's really important. And I know you've dug deep into how important it is and why we should do it, when we should do it, and all that stuff. And I know
Yeah,
that I'm just walking around a little bit of a zombie today because of that. And that's only one
yeah,
night.
yeah.
That's just,
It is mad actually because you are right. I have done a lot of digging into it. The guy I've done a lot of digging into, if you can't remember his name, his name's Matthew Walker. He has a book called Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep. And I listened to a podcast of him and Joe Rogan about 5 years ago when I was going through the coming off, from quitting the addictions, from doing that. And I listened to this one podcast on him and I just got obsessed with him. And I've listened to quite a lot of podcasts with him now. I've listened to his book again, what Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep. And one of the things I have really noticed actually, Jeff, is consistently now a lot of podcasts that I'm listening to that are not related to sleep. So I'm listening to one right now about the gut biome in our gut and everything. And again, I listened to another one to do with the mind, to do with our brain. Sorry, not mind. To do with our brain, the left side of our brain and the right side of our brain. And then I
Mhm.
listened to another podcast, and that was on about what was that? That was, I think that was on about fitness. And over all these three podcasts, and I'll talk about Matthew Walker in a minute, is every single one of these specialists said one thing. Every single one of them said it consistently the same thing over and over again is get enough sleep. Get minimum 7 to 9 hours sleep. Every single one of them. Like the gut biome guy that I'm listening to right now, he was saying that consistency is what your body needs, and consistency about going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time is so important.
Oh, okay. So you go to bed at the same time and also get up at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay.
within it. So Matthew Walker, hopefully Matthew Walker will listen to this one day. Because I'm really going to plug him right now. I am, because he's a great guy. Look, the guy he's a brain neurologist, and all his study for near on 25 to 30 years right now is sleep.
Hmm.
And the last one I listened to with him, he was saying a window of 30 minutes. So 15 minutes prior to a certain time. So say you set a time for 9 o'clock at night, then you could go to bed 15 minutes earlier than that or 15 minutes later. So you've got a kind of a buffer of a 30 minutes. And then on the
Okay.
flip side of that, you've got waking up at say 6 o'clock in the morning, you've got a buffer of that. And as long as you can get that as consistent as can possibly be, then your sleep pattern will just increase and increase and increase.
Okay. Okay. So as you're listening to him and
Hmm.
he's sharing this stuff because he's been studying it for 2 decades, right?
Yep,
So,
over two
and
decades.
he's one of the experts in it. What does he recommend prior to going to sleep?
Okay, there's there's a lot of studies out there right now, and again, you're correct. For me, he's like my Bible to sleep. This guy, he's done so much studies. He's like number one in the game right now for all this. And what he says is going to bed with no blue light, and it's not about not watching TV. It's about no bright light. It's not just blue light. I just listened to the study recently that he did, and he said it's actually just bright light. So
Okay.
you can get apps to tone it down. They say to do it 2 hours prior, 1 hour prior, eating 2 hours before bed, and then having a 2 hour window before.
Okay.
They've done all these studies, and one of the things that he said recently was this is a lot of people will listen to things when they go to bed, right? And there is nothing wrong with that. actually that will get you into deep REM sleep faster than not doing it at all, if you enjoy doing it. So I know from speaking to you many times, me and you are very similar. Steph's away this week, and I mean, please correct me if I'm incorrect. Maybe you may listen to something and it'll send you to sleep.
Yeah, I typically will do a soft meditation.
Yeah. Now I will listen to recently I've been listening to Rick and Morty, which is a TV program. So what I do is I put it on and then put the screen down so I can't see the screen, and then I just have it on in my ears. The podcast I was listening to was on Stephen Bartlett's podcast, and Stephen Bartlett was saying that he listens to Midnight Murders on a podcast. So he falls asleep to listening to people talking about murder.
Okay. Okay.
What Matthew Walker said is the reason why we fall asleep like that listening to things is because when we're kids, a lot of people were given stories to fall to sleep, or they were given music to fall to sleep. So when we're a child under the age of 7, what happens is our mum comes in and we put a little musical box on, or whatever it is, or one of our parents.
Yeah, I remember my mom reading books to us.
Yeah. So that is engraved into our subconscious and conscious mind, so that when we hear that, we then feel sleepy when we're laying in bed.
Okay.
So there was a few things. Did that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. There's multiple things, but the big thing for
you don't make sense a lot of times, but that made sense.
I'm glad the research that I've done on sleep has been beneficial for me making sense, because you are correct. I don't always make sense.
Yeah. Hopefully while you're talking about sleep, I don't fall asleep listening to it.
Actually, if you listen to his book, or if you read his book, right at the beginning of his book, or when he's on Audible, he says, I want you to fall asleep listening to me.
Oh, okay.
And he says in the beginning of his book, if you read it, it says, please don't feel embarrassed if you fall asleep reading this book. But the biggest thing that everything is all about is consistency. Sleep consistency. Getting minimum 7 hours is the minimum. And when everybody goes, oh, it's okay, we'll go to 6 hours. No, the minimum that your body needs is 7 hours of sleep. And now what's happening is the world believes that we can sleep on 6 hours and 5 hours and this, that, and the other. We really can't. We're killing ourselves. We're slowly killing ourselves.
And that's the thing that I've shared with you is I want to learn these things from these experts and then apply it and teach it, because it's inevitable. It's true. We're all going to die. There's no stopping that. For me, I want to have a long life and a short death. I don't want to have a short life and a long death because of the habits that I have created that create those things. I don't want my last decade to be where my family has to take care of me. I want to be able to be healthy and happy and go as long as I want and go to and do the things that I want to do. And then I just want to fall asleep one night and not wake up.
Yeah. And I can't imagine I can't imagine any better than that, to be fair. I agree with you implicitly. That's exactly how
Maybe a little intercourse would be fun to finish it off, but
well, not with me, by the way. No, you can stick with your
why,
wife.
why do you even go there? Why did you go there?
Because I had a vision of when you were saying you don't want your family to be looking after you. I was thinking, I don't really want to wipe your backside when you get older.
Oh, keep talking about sleep. Go.
I agree with you. That's exactly how I would want to pass away. Just fall asleep. And that's what happens anyway. When we go to sleep, what a lot of people don't realize is we actually go into an induced coma.
Does he get into that about what's happening?
He has in other podcasts. He has in other podcasts that I've listened to, and in his book about it. He goes into great detail in his book about certain things. I can't remember all of his book. I listened to it 4 years ago, and there's new studies out there. So one of the things that is recently new, where everybody says you can't you can't bank sleep. They say once you're sleep deprived, he used to say once you're sleep deprived, you can't gain your sleep back. Now, in the recent podcast that I listened to, he changed that and said there's a study out there that says you can't chase your sleep back. So you can't go and do 5 hours of sleep for 5 days and then sleep for 14 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday and
Yeah,
catch all the missing hours up and then go back to 5 hours,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
What you can do though, and they've just run studies on it, is you can go 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours for 5 days, and then sleep less hours for 2 to 3 days, or maybe even, he didn't, I think he said 4 days in the podcast, which was quite ironic because when we do 20 events, that's what we really want to be doing. And the difference is that you can bank it, and your decrease of the way you feel is just not as fast. So instead of it being example, and these are not exact numbers, by the way, so please don't pull this on me. Instead of it being like 50% decrease of the less sleep that we've had, it then slows it down to 25%. It was 50% less of the decrease, so you could go longer if you was on a shift without feeling that drowsiness and walking
Okay.
around like a zombie.
Does he talk about sleeping when the sun goes down, following that rhythm? Because there's a lot of people that work nights.
Right,
Yeah.
so you can train yourself to go to sleep at any time.
Okay.
So there's there is such thing as people that, and let me get this right before I say it. So there is morning people and there is evening people. Some
Okay.
people are more prone to get up and get going and boom, right? And some people like that more. You may find that is actually more males than females. And then in the evening, that's when the males seem to slow down a little bit more and the females are more in the evening nights. But you can train example when it is like of, you can train when you're going to go to sleep. All you got to do is be in a super dark room, less than, I think it's, I don't know what it is, and you'd have to convert it into American, but it's 16 degrees, less than 16 degrees for the UK, not Fahrenheit, Celsius, 16 degrees
Mhm.
Celsius, and then just consistently going to bed at the same time over and over again. I just listened to the gut biome, right? Now I know I'm flicking a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
connected a little bit
Yeah.
to,
Well, before you jump into the gut biome,
yeah,
I got a friend of mine lives in Canada. He says if you take 16 plus times 2, which would be 32, plus 32 is
yeah.
64. So it's right around 64, 65 degrees.
Okay,
So
65 degrees. Okay,
yeah,
perfect,
Fahrenheit.
perfect. So the one I've been listening to recently about the gut biome, and the reason I bring this up is again, it's connected to sleep, and you mentioned it, is the reason we sleep more in the winter is because our body and our biomes, our gut biome, is regulated from when the sun comes up to when the sun goes down.
Okay.
So they have just been doing a study about people that wake up with the sun and go to bed with the sun and fall asleep at that time, and they're sleeping in the middle, and
Is that
their
just
gut,
in the winter time?
yeah, in the summer as well, understandably. The difference between that is you'd have to get your regulated hours. The sun, I've not looked at it, the sun is normally down around about 7 hours,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now I'd
Yep.
have to look at it completely at certain times of the year. They're not, it's normally down between 7 and 8 hours, depending on where you are in the world. The sun goes down, let's say in the UK in the summertime around about 9 o'clock, actually goes down. It doesn't mean that it's dark, it means it just goes down 9:30, and it'll rise at around about 5:30. There's your
Mhm.
8 to 9 hours.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
And I only brought that up because of the question that you asked. I absolutely adore the guy. I think he's great. He revolutionized my sleep. The other thing is wearing a whoop strap, or you have an aura ring on and
Mm-hmm.
tracking your sleep. He really loves it. I don't know about you, but I love tracking my sleep.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to. My ring died.
Okay.
I'm searching. I am gonna get a Whoop,
Yeah.
but I'm
Okay,
just looking
cool.
at which one I want to get. There's three of them out there. I'm just doing my research right now.
Yeah, I'm just about to upgrade mine as well. There's a plug for Whoop, by the way.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, Whoop, you can give us some free Whoops.
Well,
But yeah, that's what do you feel like when actually, because we both do the same thing. When we do a Tony event, how do you feel at the end of it? Sleep, body from your body, from feeling from body, not from how your mind feels and how we've met all
yeah.
six human
Well,
needs.
let's see. I'm drained. It's drained. Got fatigue. I know when I come home, I sleep really well for that first week. It's like my body's catching up with the sleep that I didn't get.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's something I wouldn't want to do every single day.
No, and that's one of the things that I used to do when, and actually when you were doing when you were doing the golf stuff, when you were working on the golf courses and stuff like that, how did you feel when you used to do a lot of drinking as well? Like from the sleep side of it, sleep side.
Man,
By the way, I don't
that was
mean a
another
lot of drinking.
lifetime ago. What's that?
I didn't mean a lot of drinking. I meant when you were, because I know you don't really drink at all now.
I don't know, but you're talking about back in the day?
Yeah, back in the
Oh
day.
yeah, back in the day, there was a lot of drinking going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Let's see. I was working at golf course, or I was doing like some sales jobs, and I was a completely different person back then because I was a night owl. I could stay up all night, but I never liked to
Mm.
get up in the morning. And so now I'm the opposite today. I'll go to bed, but I love getting up early. I really do. So I'm just thinking about that. I think I was always tired. I think that emotionally and physically tired,
Yeah,
but it became a norm. It's just this is how life is. This is as good as it gets. There's that saying out there that nothing tastes as good as fit and healthy feels. I always tell
yeah,
people, yeah, that's true, but how many people in the world have ever felt what it feels like to be fit and healthy? If you felt it, if you
that's a
really
great
felt
question.
it, you would never go back to eating the stuff that you've done. But
That's a
you
great
do.
question.
So I would say for my sleep and how I felt during the day, I think I was consistently tired, but it became such a norm that I didn't even think of it that way. I just
Yeah,
thought this is how it is.
and that's the thing, though, isn't it? It seems to be not for me now, but it seemed to be that way where I'll just go back to COVID when I was clean. I used to like when I first met you. Yeah, I think before, yeah, maybe just before I first met you, I was like, I was like only having 4 or 5 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep,
Yeah.
um, and thinking that was cool. Yeah, it's okay. I don't worry. I only need 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep, and that's cool. And then when I look at it now, if I have 1 to 2 days of sleep, like on a Tony event, if if I do 2 days of that, like where I'm not really sleeping, like I can really feel it. Like I've got to,
Mhm.
we got to go and do something that really shifts our focus and our energy, and go and stand in a room full of like thousands of
You're
people.
only fucking 40 years old.
41,
Okay, 41. Yay.
41 years young, by the way.
Yeah.
So this body's been through a lot.
Yeah.
It's
No,
been through a lot.
I get you. With age comes wisdom for most people, some people.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when that's coming for me. I'm just wondering if a bit of wisdom will pass off from you, but I don't know about
We'll see. We'll
that.
see.
A lot of it has passed off. But yes, yeah, thanks for bringing that up about Matthew Walker. I have done a lot of research on him, and I'm still doing a lot of research. One of the things that I always say to people is that it is the most important thing that we can do. Like
Mhm.
the most important thing. It's free of charge. There's nothing that's more important than this, and every study and everything that I'm listening to right now and researching and doing, and this is what we're great at. About We're actually great at going out there, finding the right people to listen to, finding the right people to go and research, and every single human being that I'm hearing, like specialists at this, it doesn't matter what it is, they're all saying the same thing.
I'm gonna
Get enough sleep.
I gotta add something to that.
Cool. Go for
So
it.
you said both of us are really good at going out and finding the right people and doing the research
Mhm.
on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to add to that that then we apply it in our lives to see how it
Yes.
works in our lives. Because a lot of people can go out and get the knowledge, but that I take a lot of pride in that because then
Mm.
I go and I start to apply it into my life and I get to see how it works for me. And then I share that information, my experience with people, and say, hey, you know what? This is just my information. This is my experience, and this is what I'm getting out of it. I'm getting more energy. And when it comes right down to it, all we want is more energy when we're up. We want the
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
to be able to move, get up, get our butts out of bed, be able to think, be able to
Yeah.
remember all these things. And it comes from, like you just said, all different aspects of life that people are studying, from the body to the food to different the energies. It all boils down to one of the things that you get to do every single day is you get to sleep between 7 and 8 hours, 7 and 9 hours of sleep. That
Yeah.
will prolong your life. It'll give you a better, healthy life, give you more energy. It's awesome.
So I'm
And,
glad you brought that up
and
as well. I am. I'm glad you brought that up because the difference when between five, six, 5 hours and 6 hours is 7 years of your life. The
okay,
difference between 6 and 7 hours is another 10 years of your life. So
okay,
if you're depleting your life and saying, oh, I only have 5 hours of sleep a day, you're actually losing on average, depending on your lifespan, around about anything between 10 and 17 years of your life.
okay, yeah. And as you say that, it's really funny because first I'm going to ask you, I'm going to write this down and then I'm going to bring that back up. So, my question to you is, what if somebody's listening to this and they're 45, 50 years old and they've
Mm-hmm.
had shit sleep habits and
Yep.
they turn it around? Are they still going to lose the
No,
7 to 10 years?
nope.
Oh, okay.
No, because one of the things I would say is because our body regrows every 7 years.
Yep. Okay. I
So
got you.
so for me right now, and this is why I'm so proud, in another 2 years' time, my whole body in 2 more years' time will be completely clean of every drug and alcohol that I ever took, especially the class A's and the alcohol. So that's my like target in my head is 7 years, and I'm completely clean of everything because we can reverse every single thing. We can reverse engineer our sleep, we can recharge our sleep, we can get it all going again, and we can work on everything being put in the right direction. And
Cool.
and
Good to hear.
that's the biggest beautiful thing about our bodies, right? Is that every 7 years, every single cell in our body has changed. And if we do stuff consistently, not even for we consistently do it for 7 years, we're gonna be, and I always say these words to you. I always say an upgraded version. Actually, for 7 years, we're brand new.
Mhm.
It's a new version.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's good to know. I'm glad I asked that question because
yeah,
what that does is it gives everyone, even myself, hope. I had a crappy night of sleep last night. Okay,
yeah.
so I said to you, I'm definitely going to bed earlier tonight because
Mhm.
I feel that I don't have the energy that I typically do, but I still have a lot of energy because it's a consistency of what I've done over the last decade and a half to my
Yeah.
body that I can slip a couple days and do my thing, but then I get up and I'll redo it. I remember when you were asking me about back in the day, I think I was getting like short hours, let's say 5, 6 hours of sleep, right?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, my body would just freaking shut down. And I would
Hmm.
be watching a movie with Steph at 6 o'clock at night, and I would be out, and she could tell
Yeah.
how out I was. I would wake up the next morning at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, didn't know where I was at, still, but I felt good. I felt amazing because I got 12 hours of sleep. But my body was saying, it's time I'm taking over. You're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
You're not doing this, and
And
you're not doing this to me.
yeah, and that is true. That is what your body will do. And that's I had something that I was thinking of then and what he said. And that's one of the things that like right now, you've had one day's bad sleep. The best way to look at this is whoopsie do, which you're looking at. You are looking at it. And if some people are listening to this, I want you to understand that go and get go and listen to Matthew Walker for way more information than I'm going to give you, right?
Hmm.
But one of the big things he says is don't worry about sleep. Just go and set a timer, get a routine to go to bed, and then go to sleep. If you
Okay.
can't sleep, right, get up out of bed, go read a book, go make yourself go tired, go listen to a podcast, don't watch TV, don't switch the lights on, don't go bright light, right? Keep them all dim, right? Then get back in bed when you feel sleepy. If you can't sleep again like that, it's okay. This is what he says. He says, it's okay. It's just one of them days. You had a shit night's sleep. You're
Hmm.
not going to die off
Yeah.
it. It's not going to really affect you. Get
Yeah.
back up the day after. Go, just get back into it. The biggest thing that a lot of people do with people that struggle with sleep is this, right? They fear the bed. They go
Mhm.
to bed and they think, "Oh my God, I'm not going to sleep." Or they use this terminology, "I don't sleep well."
Oh.
So immediately, "Oh, I don't sleep well," or "I'm a light sleeper." There's another one for you. "I'm a light sleeper." You keep saying to yourself that you're a light sleeper, then you're going to be a light sleeper. The other thing is, if you get into bed, then bed is for sleep. Right now, at this moment in present, as I'm speaking to you, one of the things that I really dislike about where I'm living, because we're in this transition period of moving over with you guys, is right now our bedroom is like our living room as well because we've got nowhere else to be. So I've got an office, and what I don't like about it is we end up watching TV in that bed, and then it becomes this living room area. That's
Uh,
something that you don't want to do. Like
mhm.
your bed is for one thing and well, maybe a couple more things, but like the main thing is
Mhm.
intercourse, and then after that, sleep. That's it.
Mhm.
You want to read in bed, but don't be fearful of it. If you get one bad night's sleep, that's cool. Have one bad night's sleep. That doesn't matter. And he talks about
Mhm.
that in great detail very recently about people being fearful, really fearful, and using language like, "Oh, I don't sleep that well," or "I'm being proud of, oh, I only get 5 hours of sleep a day," and this, that, and the
Yeah.
other. So I wanted
Yeah.
to share that with you because as you were saying that you had that one, like tonight was your bad night's sleep, then it just came to me and I thought I wanted to share that with people. I
Sure.
could
Sure.
go for
Well,
I can
so
talk
for me,
anyway, but this for
yeah,
me is I'm super passionate about this.
yeah. So for me, if I go to bed and I can't sleep, and I didn't do this last night, but I typically will go read a book,
Yeah,
and that makes my eyes tired, and then I'm done. I'll wake up with my book on my chest, and I'm like, I'll just take the book, turn the light off, and I'm done. Right?
yeah.
What's yours? What do you do?
Um, mine is really weird and it works. I don't know why it works. I do know why it works now because I said it at the beginning of the podcast. So for me, what I will do is some, I will put on a cartoon of some sort. Could be anything. It doesn't really matter. Simpsons. It could be Family Guy, it could be American Dad, it could be like I don't know, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. And I have a screen that is goes to red screen, so it's not blue light, it's none of that type of stuff. And then I watch that for about 5 minutes, and then I turn it upside down and I listen to it. Now, the reason I listen to this is because it's just I call it like mind numbing stuff. So it's not something that I have to focus on. It's something that I just bang and I just turn the face down and I just listen to it and then I'll start feeling really tired and I'll just whip it out my ears and I'll just put it to sleep. The
Okay.
We are going to start doing the reading. That's one thing we are going to do. That's a habit that I have created and I'm going to change it. I've done multiple times where I've listened to podcasts, right? And because the podcasts that I listen to are intelligent podcasts and I start to think about it, my brain doesn't switch off. So that's why I know that doesn't work for me. So just finding what works for you as well. We're just
Yeah, so
about,
I would just ask
yeah,
that mine's different than yours, but they both work, right?
yeah.
They both work. So what does Matthew say about taking melatonin or drugs or something to go to
Okay.
sleep?
All right. Great question. Great question.
I
Don't take
that's all I have
melatonin.
is that's all I have is great question.
Don't take melatonin unless you have traveled, right? Melatonin to get you to sleep is not a great substance for consistency because
Okay.
you're falsifying how your body uses its own melatonin. So he will say if you sleep, if you use melatonin to go to sleep after traveling, like flying, that's the only time that he recommends it.
Okay.
And he will recommend 5 milligrams of melatonin. That's it. And set it to when you would be going to sleep. So the thing that you can do is you can do it. And I actually did recently do this with a product called Dream Water, which you know about, which a friend of
Mhm.
ours talked about. And I did it where you set it for the time that you want to go to sleep in the country that you're going to. So prime example, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. I'd set it very early, 2 days prior to flying or one day prior to flying. I'd use it. I'd go to sleep pretty early. I'd wake up pretty early, so my clock's now a little bit weirded out. But it's on the UK time. So when I came back from Florida, I did it 5 hours different, and then I came back and then I used it at 7 p.m. and I slept straight through until 7 a.m. I slept for 12 hours straight the day after and I got up at that time and that was put me back into where I wanted to go. So that's the only time that he ever says use it
Okay. Okay. What
is
about
there.
magnesium?
Magnesium. So magnesium does not help you sleep. It has got no brain receptors. It does not trigger anything in your brain to go to sleep at all. So what magnesium does is it helps you sleep, but it's not a sleep aid. And I take magnesium every night because what magnesium does is it starts to relax your whole body. So
Mhm.
magnesium relaxes all of your body, all your muscles, and then what happens is your melatonin starts to kick in a little bit stronger, and then that relaxes you and you go more to sleep. It's got zero connection to your brain's, to your sleep receptors in your brain. The one thing he did say that has is ashwagandha, and I've said that complete. I butchered. I know I've butchered it. I know that I've not said it correct. Ashwagandha, I think it is. Or can you say it better than me? Okay.
Ashwagandha.
There you go, ashwagandha. There you go. That has got a connection to your sleep receptors in your brain.
Okay. 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 That makes sense. That makes
Nothing
sense.
wrong with taking there's nothing wrong with taking magnesium
And I
or
know there's 5 different magnesiums. Does he get into the one that you should take?
no,
Oh, okay.
no.
We'll have to do some research on that. And
Yeah.
I think the other thing we'll do too, we'll do research on that. And then also the podcasts that you like to listen to with Matthew, we'll put
Hmm.
them down below so everybody can watch them if they choose to.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like, yeah, I'll put the links below. It's Stephen Bartlett's one. Stephen Bartlett did two very recently back to back with him, which I listened to. He did them within 6 months because I think he did one and then he did another one that's because he'd been and done more studies somewhere else. And that's the last one is about a 2 hour podcast. Absolutely phenomenal podcast. And like you said, we'll put them in the link below.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
Any other questions on sleep? I want to say thank you very much to Matthew Walker, by the way, because he's got me hooked on focusing on this, listening to him, and he's an awesome guy. And one of the things that he has definitely changed my whole life on sleep.
Yeah. Good. And it's an important thing. It's really important. You think about what we teach, it's a healthy mindset. So we got
Yeah.
talking about health, we're talking about mindset, right? If we really look and boil it down, in our program, we talk about water,
Yeah.
talk about sleep, we talk about breath. Oh, my thumb went up.
That's Zoom for you, man. That's Zoom. I love
That's
it.
cool. Yeah, how
Every
do I get
man
it
does
off?
it.
Got it off. But anyway, think of a baby being born. The first thing they do is they take a breath.
Yeah.
And typically most people don't think about their breath until the end of their lives or when they get sick.
Yeah.
You're with somebody and they'll like, and you'll turn and go, are you okay? Because you
Yeah.
think something's going on. If we forget about our breath, so we got breath, then we got water, and we
Yeah.
got sleep, right? What the hell does a baby, or what the heck does a baby do when they're first born? Those three things. And we, after a
Well, and
while,
they poop as well.
we forget about them. And when a baby's tired, the baby's going to let you know. We fight our bodies talking to us now.
Yes,
So
we
I
do.
think it's time to get back to going back to sleep and getting a good night's sleep,
Yep.
not just catching up, trying to catch up.
No, and that's one of the things we'll never able to do. We can reverse it though. Don't think you can't reverse it. So that's one of the things that I'm so pleased about is that my sleep pattern for years and years and years and years was horrendous. It really was. And now I'm like, "Phew, yeah, let's go. Let's
Yep.
go.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
I can, I don't even know what I got last night. I think I was 8 hours and 12 minutes. And it's okay. Again, if you do a week of not greatness, that's cool. Just get back on the train. It's the same as what we teach all the time, right? Like we've just had, I've just been away in America for a while. Now I'm back in the UK. And my food pattern wasn't great because of the fact that I was traveling all the time. The sleep pattern was great when I was there, but it wasn't at the beginning. And then it was great because I was there for a period of time. Mainly the food thing. And now I'm back on it. Same as you. When you go away, you do the same. Our food, when we're together sometimes, depending on where we are in the world, depending on what event we're on, it's not great. But then when we
Yeah.
come back,
No, I even have to, let's see, what do they call that? I just have to share. I didn't have to go anywhere. I did not eat good in the month of December with family being here, Christmas, holidays and that stuff. And so today, what's the date today? The date
six,
today, is it? That's the 6th.
six,
So it's January 6th. Driving home from a friend's house on New Year's Eve night, I did not eat for 4.5 days. I just did a water fast. And
nice.
each day I felt better. And Stephanie asked me, how long are you gonna do it? I said, until my body tells me. So the night before I stopped my fast, I had a little bit of a headache before we went to bed. And I'm like, oh, I don't get
Okay.
headaches. And
Yeah.
then I went and had a really hard workout with my shoulders at the gym the next morning, and I got a little bit of lightheadedness. And I'm like, okay, time to go home. So I went home and started drinking some bone broth
Yeah.
and did a little bit of yogurt. And I just slowly got my digestive system working because I gave it a break. I gave it a vacation. I gave it the vacation for 4.5 days to say, hey,
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about anything coming down and having to do your work. So I feel wonderful now, and now I need to just focus on getting back into the routine, getting back into the good night sleeps, and then I'm
Yeah.
ready to go. And like you
Yeah.
said, we can zig and zag. We learned that from one of our mentors, Tony Robbins. No, I take that back. We learned it from his wife, Sage, where
Yes.
he tells the story when they first met. Tony was very anal about what he ate. It was always good food. No, nothing bad was going in his body. And
Yeah.
so he meets his wife at that time. They go out on their first date, and she's ordering
Hmm.
everything he orders, and he's like, I like this. And at the end of
Yep.
the meal, she looked at the waiter and she goes, hot fudge sundae or
Yep.
brownie or whatever. And he goes, what the
Yeah, it was
hell
a
are
hot
you
fudge on
doing?
Sunday. You're right on that one.
You know what she said? She goes, I'm living.
Yep.
And that's what Healthy Once and For All is all about. It's about living.
Yep.
We want
Yep.
people to live.
Yeah, that is what that's the yes, healthy once and for all the program. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And Healthy Mindset Rebels is all about just improving what we're doing on a daily basis for our health and life longevity.
And I got to add to that because I was talking to a client the other day and she complimented me because we've been working together for 3+ years.
Yeah.
She said to me, she goes, I really have to compliment you on, she goes, you are a lifelong learner. And what we talk about a lot of times is CNI's, constant, never-ending improvement. It's always looking at how can we make it better. And that's one of the things that Steph and I did when the program Healthy Once and For All, and now it's Healthy Mindset Rebels, is
Yeah.
we're consistently out there watching different things. We're watching videos, getting in contact with these people. Again, having someday we'll have these conversations with Matthew personally. We'll have him on our podcast. We'll be talking about these things, but we're going to consistently want to get better, better, and better. And I love it. I live for growth. I live for learning. And
you said
I
it
just
though,
love
right?
to share it with people.
You said it. Tony says this all the time, and I love it, is knowledge is only potential power. I was watching a program the other day, and this guy said, oh, knowledge is power. And the first thing that came to my head was, no, sorry, knowledge is potential power. Action is everything. And that's what we do. We go, I remember the first day you said to me one of the first times we met, you were like, you're one of them human beings that kind of, I'll say something to you and you're like, okay, I'll do that the day after, or even that minute you're doing it.
That's how our friendship started.
Well, it is, yeah.
Our friendship started by you bringing up the word golf, and I'm like, I'm a golfer, and you're like, me too, and we're like, yeah. And I said, hey, come to Dallas, because we were in Birmingham in the UK, and I'm sure I said that wrong, but I don't care.
No, it's okay. I get used to it
And
now.
she goes, and if you remember the conversation, you said, yeah, I'll bring my golf clubs, and I said, let's schedule it right now.
Yeah.
We got our calendars out and did it.
Yeah, we did.
That to me, if something's important to me, that's a new habit that I've created. This is a new mindset around it. Is how many times have you done it, and I've done it, but all the people that are listening to this, you're out for coffee with somebody and you haven't seen them in a while, and you had an amazing conversation, and you're leaving them, and you're like, man, we need to do this again. Let's do it soon. And you break away, and 6 months goes by, and you forget about doing it. Me, if I have that conversation with somebody, I stop and say, pull out your calendar. Let's do it in the next month.
I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it in here.
Okay.
I do it now and then, just not as much as I want to. I'm going to use that word in, not as much as I want to. And yeah, man, what a great conversation we've just had.
Absolutely.
What a great conversation we've just had. Yeah, I've absolutely loved this conversation. It's been a great one. So I want to say thank you very much, my man. I truly love you.
Yeah, love you too. Appreciate you.